I gather you all here today to talk about our Lord Savior, Bells and Lock.
No, not Bells and Lock, Grizzlebrand.
Welcome to Cycle and Dredge, everybody, where each week we talk about magic, because we like magic and that's what we do. My name is John, and we have a couple, our normal hosts tonight. Roman, say hi.
Hi.
And Nick, say hi.
No.
Fine, fair. Nick is not on
I
camera.
see you guys. Sup?
Yeah. Woo, yay. We can, he can see us, but we can't see you. We have a special guest with us tonight, Mandy. Mandy, say hi.
Hello.
So each week we go through, we're going to change things up a little bit this week. Roman had a good idea where we're going to step through the phases of the a round of magic. And so that's what we're going to do. So this week we're going to start with the upkeep. And with the upkeep, as usual, we're going to do our random card picks of the week. And I'm going to switch over to the browser here on the stream. And who would like to go first? You know what? I'll go first here because I already have it up. My random card of the week is Daggersail Aeronaut. Costs 3 plus a red to put out. It's a creature goblin, 3/2. As long as it's your turn, Daggersail Aeronaut has flying. And that's it. It's not a great card. It is what it is.
Roman goes next.
Roman goes next.
Okay, so I have Tablet of Epitier. Cost 1. Activation cost is 1. Tablet of Epitier. Epitier. Oh, and you just screwed me up.
Oh, I did not spell that properly. There we go.
Anyway, let me read this again.
It's right there if you'd like to read it.
Oh, okay. You gain 1 life every time one of your artifacts goes to the graveyard. Can only give 1 life each time an artifact reaches the graveyard.
Okay.
That could be broken in an artifact.
How could that be broken?
What? Because you send artifacts to the graveyard all the time.
Okay.
You cast them from your graveyard.
Good enough.
Duretti literally just switches artifacts.
Keep looking that way.
That would be good.
I can't look at you.
No, don't look at me.
Fine. Hi, everyone.
We gotta learn it
So,
to do.
Duretti and stuff like that. Scrap Servant. He basically, or Savant, what do I call it?
It's Savant.
Basically he just switches artifacts from the graveyard. So every time he does that, you can...
Nick, moving on to you. What is your random card pick of the week?
Pillar of the Peruns.
How do you spell Peruns?
P-A-R-U-N-S.
And what does that do?
It is a land. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Spend this mana only to play a multicolored spell.
It would be awesome. It's Killer of the Peruns?
It's $26. Pillar.
Pillar?
Yeah, Pillar. Pillar of the Peruns. It's $26, so it is pretty awesome.
There we go. That is a land. It is up on the screen if anybody wants to see it, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, Mandy, we kind of we surprise you with this. Do you have a random card or anything of the week?
I like a new card from the new set, Ikoria, that I can talk about.
Do you want to save it for the end step, or do you want to do it as a random card?
Random card.
Okay.
It's a common.
What is that
Nothing
card?
all that special. Helica Glider.
That's a good one.
It costs 2 and a white put out, and it is a nightmare squirrel. And when it enters the battlefield, it enters with your choice of flying counter or first strike counter.
And it is a
But
squirrel.
the best part about it is that the flavor text. So the flavor text says it could subsist on seeds, but its preferred fare is your face.
Do you
It's
think?
a 2/2.
Do you think they put out this nightmare squirrel because of the recent unsanctioned set? I mean, they wanted to put out more squirrels. Rosenwater said on his podcast that he wanted more squirrel cards.
I do love squirrels.
It has pretty amazing artwork. The artwork is by Jaehan Chu. I might be messing up the pronunciation of that.
I don't have it updated.
Yeah, I know
that. That comes a little
That's
bit
why I
closer.
was letting you know.
So we'll have to throw a preview of that card up on the video after the fact. Unfortunately, Cycle and Dredge isn't updated with Ikoria for at least all the cards yet, because spoilers go a little bit slower.
Bad dev work.
Shut up. Hey, one of these days, now that we're on camera, we're just going to get into a fight. That's just how we're going to leave off one day.
I'm okay with it.
Have you guys never gotten in a fight? Jeez.
Surprisingly, no,
No.
we haven't. I don't know how or
That's
why,
surprising.
but
I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover.
Oh, God. Okay, so do you want to hug it out on camera? This is Brings a whole different dynamic to this podcast with it being filmed now. It is so awkward and
That
weird.
we were on camera.
No, you did not.
I did.
Okay, so moving on to the main phase. Tonight's pretty much going to be an Ikoria night. We're going to be talking about the mechanics, some of the new cards, and we're going to end off the episode on how we see these cards being affected, or affecting some of the formats, how they could be used, things like that. So it's going to be kind of an interesting night. I'm going to be leaning on the three of you for the individual cards. I've been able to read a lot into the mechanics, what they do, how they work and stuff, but I haven't been able to see a lot of the individual cards. I've seen some here, a few here and there. But at any rate, Roman, why don't you explain the first big one? Because this one has been one of the most hotly talked about mechanics in the Magic atmosphere, or the Magic environment.
Which one? Keyword counters, companion, or mutate?
Mutate. Let's start off with mutate. Let's go for the big bucks
well,
first.
mutate is a extra casting cost. It does add on to a commander cost because you are casting it. So basically you act as though it's a equipment, enchantment, or bestow, whatever you want to call it, but you equip the creature mutating onto another creature, and then you decide then which one goes on top and which one goes on the bottom. The one on top, it basically gives you all the identifications of the card, and then that card accrues all the abilities of the ones below it.
Switching over to a quick screen here so that way people can read it. So one of the interesting things that I've seen about mutate here too, there's already a ruling on this. If you go to mutate your creature, it's has to, like you said, it has to be, after you pay the mutate cost, it has to go either on above or below the card. During that time frame, though, everything goes back to, or priority goes back to the other players, so they can use something like Murderous Rider to kill off that creature that you're mutating it on too. But at that point, unlike an enchantment, it doesn't go away. It comes in as the normal creature.
Yeah, it just comes in as the
So I thought that was kind of a neat thing. Nick, what are your thoughts about mutate so far?
I think it's pretty cool. I think some of them are really dumb good, but like the Nethroi, or whatever, however you say his name, seems really good. But I'm fine with the mechanic, honestly. Sad there's no John Du Bois.
I think it's going to be kind of interesting. Mandy, you and I have talked about this a couple times. Do you have any thoughts about the mutate mechanic?
Yeah.
I surprised her. She walked away from the computer.
Oh, it says non-human.
Yep. Yeah, you can only do it to non-human creatures.
Non-human.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
I can understand why people are going to like it, but for my own personal playing style, I'm probably not going to use it very much.
Why is that?
I like having a lot of creatures out on the board, and I feel like with Mutate, you're basically using your creatures that are in your hand to make your current creatures better. And if somebody, gets rid of that creature, then, there goes your creatures. So for me, I don't really see myself playing with it a whole lot.
Yeah, and it is a very Voltron-y mechanic, and you're not a very Voltron-y kind of person, so I can definitely see that.
Yeah, it's like Voltron and then combo as well. So
yeah, it's a good mix.
Neither of which are the aggro, which is
And here's kind of a good example of how it's going to interact too for the people watching the video. You can, like Roman was saying, you can put it either on top or below the card. In this case, I can't see the cards from this way. Cloud Piercer is being mutated on the Moss Code Ikoria. So I check out the video on YouTube or on the Facebook page. That'll kind of give you an example. Or the Wizards website has a pretty good example of it as well. So, okay, moving on to the next mechanic. Nick, do you want to introduce the next one? I'll give it dealer's choice. We have a couple more to go through.
We can do companion for me.
Okay, go for it and explain it.
Alright, one sec. I gotta bring up the card that I hate that does it.
You're talking about the Otter?
Yeah, I hate that boy. Actually, no, I'll do the best Elemental Fox Boros commander we've ever got. So, Zidra the Dawnwaker is an Elemental Fox 1 in Boros, and he has a companion ability, which is, if this card is your chosen companion, you may cast it once from outside the game.
Okay.
That's it.
And the companions have a lot of, weird little...
each one has a criteria.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the guy you just named?
Zerdra the Dawnwaker.
And I think that's important. Okay, so can you give a couple examples of what these criteria are, and then we'll get into why the otter was banned and why it was banned immediately before it even came out?
Zerda is each permanent card in your starting deck has an activated ability. Then Kahira the Orphan Guard. Each creature card in your starting deck is a cat, elemental, nightmare, dinosaur, or beast card. Where's the other one? And where's the otter?
Yeah, the otter that was banned immediately.
Lutri, the Spell Chaser, is each non-land card in your starting deck has a different name.
Yep, which basically begs itself to Commander. And the reason why
it's an extra card.
It is.
That's why it's bad.
It's important to note that with Companion, when it comes into the field, it's not part of your starting hand or any card that you draw. It's always there outside of the game, kind of like your Commander. And because this card has no criteria for Commander other than your color identity, that means it's always a 101st card that you can have that nobody can do anything with. So it's not like you can play Duress and knock it out of somebody's hand or anything like that. It's always in the game that you can bring out. Like if you're running red and blue, there's absolutely zero reason not to run this card, even if you never think you're going to need it, because it's always there. And it's always something you can play. If you need a blocker, play it. I mean, it's there. You could do it for just about anything, and it gives you a nice little bump up for other things if you want to do that too.
And due to it having flash, people are just going to abuse it whenever they play extra turn spells.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like I cast Expropriate. Oh, you all voted? By the way, Lutri.
And Mandy, you had mentioned in Farboco's Discord the cat companion thing earlier.
Yes.
Go ahead and explain that.
I like the new cat beast. It's Kahira the Orphan Guard.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, the artwork is fantastic for it. It's basically this giant kitty cat beast that takes care of all the little orphaned animals. But the companion says each creature card in your starting deck is a cat, an elemental, a nightmare, a dinosaur, or a beast card. It has vigilance, and each other creature you control that's a cat, elemental, nightmare, dinosaur, or beast gets +1/+1 and has vigilance. I run a cat deck. It's mostly like 99% cat tribal, so that's going to work really great for my cat deck.
Yeah, it's basically just an action card she's going to play, and then on turn 3 she would just throw it out into the field. And now all her cats have +1/+1 in vigilance.
Yeah, this is an amazing companion card to play for any kind of tribal deck that fits into one of those few themes there. I'm really thinking about building a dinosaur deck just because, well, I wanted to build a dinosaur deck.
I'm going to be throwing the Elemental Elk, Gigantha, the Wellspring, into my Sisei deck.
Okay.
Because I can see some of this coming into my Shapeshifter deck.
It could be, yeah. There's a lot of interesting things here. And then we have one last mechanic to go through. Mandy, do you know enough about that mechanic to be able to talk about it?
It's basically just counters. And it's like you give your creature a counter for vigilance, a counter for death touch, and you can kind of move them around, put them where you want them, that sort of thing.
It's actually really cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of
I like it a lot
about
more
this
than
mechanic.
Mutate, if I'm being honest.
It gives a lot of versatility to various cards.
I'm kind of mixed, going back and forth between whether I like these counters or Mutate more. I thinking of like fun ways to do both of them. I kind of want to use both of them in conjunction with each other, because one of the important things with Mutate is whenever you mutate 2 cards, they essentially become one new card, but it gains all abilities of all the cards that are stacked either over or under. So you could put these counters on a smaller creature, mutate it, and then it gets that creature. So it's kind of like a build your own creature kind of thing, and you can build yourself one big old flying hexproof Godzilla thing that just likes to eat people and elves. And quite frankly, I'm okay with Godzilla eating elves. Or
is there
Speaking
no
of Godzilla,
indestructible counter?
Huh?
Is there no indestructible counter?
There is not an indestructible counter. What you see on
they
the screen
did
is
not
what you
put
got.
that on.
Well, before we get into Godzilla, cycling also has come back pretty hard in this set as well.
It has. Who here is excited for cycling?
What?
Me.
I already have a cycle deck.
Well, no, cycling isn't Ikoria, it's the new Commander stuff.
Yeah, well, I already have a cycle deck. I have a Anji deck.
What I'm saying is, Ikoria is not the cycling cards. That's the new
Oh,
commander
yeah.
set.
No, I thought
Yeah.
you were
Well,
talking about the mechanic.
There are
There's some cycling.
there are
Well, not nearly as many as the commander product.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that makes
Like
Can
the
we
sense.
new
talk a
commander
minute-
product is a cycling deck.
Mandy, do you
Can
want to
we talk-
explain what cycling is fast? Since you brought it up.
You pay X depending on what the card says. You discard the card and then you draw a card.
Look up Barrenmore, John, for like an example.
How do you spell it?
Barren space MOOR. It's a classic mono black cycle card.
Oh, I got out of Cycle and Dredge here.
But
Yeah.
usually the cards will say, like, when you cycle this card,
Wait, do you
you
not
get
know what
something
cycle does?
extra.
Yes, I know what cycling does, but we need to explain it for the people not listening
Oh,
to the
okay.
show. There's
And
Barrymore.
I just brought up the Barrenmore to show a good example. And then there's basic land cycling too, which is like a similar function, but you search for a land.
Yeah, I keep some
Like
of
Ash
the...
Barrens.
Yeah, I play some of the cycling cards on occasion, hoping it might be an extra or useful card. But
I really want to get the Jeskai commander deck because the's a free counterspell in there.
mm-hmm.
So you want to know what's good with
It's so good.
cycling?
What's good with cycling?
Library of Lang.
It is very
Yep.
good with cycling. You know what else is like Library of Lang?
Shameless
Lang's
plug right
Library.
there. Good old shameless plugs.
Oh yes.
Can we talk for a minute about
Or is
Space
Lord and Savior
Godzilla?
Lord Demon Belzenlock?
Grizzleband.
Space Godzilla?
Okay. Shoot.
Oh, yeah, Space Godzilla. Yes, we must
Are
talk
we-
about Space Godzilla.
So are we talking about the Corona eating Godzilla?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead and talk about our poor fallen friend here.
So Wizards of the Coast had to put out a statement about Space Godzilla because of the title of Space Godzilla. So Space Godzilla card is a nightmare horror creature. Its original title was Space Godzilla Corona Death. It has now been changed to Space Godzilla Void Invader, but they are not going to be making that change into the second run of printing. So everybody who has like pre-bought a box someplace and they might end up with Space Godzilla Corona Death. They changed it obviously because of the COVID-19 virus that's currently screwing everything up and killing people.
And just to be clear too, like if this is the Death Corona card is something you want to get as a collector's item, pre-order your stuff now, because they typically don't do second run reprints until after the first ones sell out. So that's usually not until a little bit.
And it's
after
also going to be
release.
excessively rare
It is
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's box toppers.
It's
It
actually a $300 card right now.
Yeah, and
It's box toppers.
to drive this point home, I was speaking with our guest James Farbo from Farbo Co. earlier today, and he was saying that if 70% of the local game stores participate in one of the WPN events while all this stuff is going on, the barriers to this aren't high either. It's like the people pre-order Ikoria from their LGS or participate in the FNM through their LGS, through Magic Arena, something like that. At any rate, if 70% of stores or more participate in these, then Wizards of the Coast is going to double all the free mystery booster boxes that go out to the local game stores. So instead of like Farbo Co. getting 6 free booster boxes, they're going to get 12. And that's all money that goes straight to the LGSs. So if you want to support your LGS, play Magic Arena and shoot them the code and everything for Friday Night Magic, because that counts and it's free, and you get to have a little bit of fun out of it. And if you want to get Ikoria, pre-order Ikoria through them. And if you pre-order Ikoria, there's going to be a good chance you're going to get the Death Corona card because it's a common box topper. So
Also, if you pre-order Ikoria through your LGS, you will get it's like a little bundle package for Magic Arena that you get for free.
speaking of which, Mandy, I have that for you. Don't let me forget.
Okay.
Got one too.
But going back to Space Godzilla, yeah, he's one of the cycling cards that we were just talking about too. I'm curious to see how much he shows up because he is a uncommon card.
The joys of recording live. I muted Mandy for the immediate moment.
Going off of that, but I just think it's so cool that they are doing Godzilla themed cards. I think that's a really cool direction that Wizards is going in.
Yeah, apparently they licensed this with Hasbro. I guess it was a year or two back. So like it's been a long time coming and planned.
It's just so cool that Wizards is willing to bring different IPs into Magic for, I think, the first time.
Yes, well, they've done
that
other
alters.
Yeah, well, they've done other things, but this is, I think you're right. This is the first time where it's going to be a legal playable card. Like they've done
it's so cool.
The Transformers things for the HasCon. Well, they've done the My Little Ponies things. They've done a few things like that, but those were not legal playable. These Godzilla cards, even though they technically are alters of a different card with a different card name, they are legal playable. Like you can go to a GP or something and plop these down and play it.
I'm just worried. I'm worried about the foiling of these things because of the Mythic Edition foiling issues that we ran into
with the curling and whatnot.
With the curling's horrible on those.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. I mean,
I'm not saying we need to say anything. It's just like, it's a worry.
I feel like it's going to happen because I doubt they've had time to change the printing process between that
just
and now.
Switch back to the cons foiling.
Well, they were printing those, and that's a whole different argument for a whole different show. And that's something that tends to outrage so many people. So, so do you guys
could be next week's episode?
We'll figure that out in a bit.
Yeah, end step.
End step, yes. Did you guys see any other interesting cards or anything?
Yeah, Fiend Artisan. He's Birthing Pod on a stick. You guys remember the card I used to play, Birthing Pod? Mm-hmm. They made a new one.
Fiend Artisan. Fiend Artisan gets 1/1 for each creature card in your graveyard. X plus a hybrid Golgari. Tap it, sacrifice another creature. Search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Activate this ability only at any time you could cast a sorcery.
My cat says hi, by the way.
Hi, cat.
Or my brother's cat, I should say. My brother also says hi.
Hello.
Sorry, guys, the neighbor knocked.
That's okay.
But yeah, the Fiend Artisan is just so cool. It's a Birthing Pod. Birthing Pod's back in Standard. I'm playing Standard.
I'm gonna get on that arena.
Yeah, I have to play a Birthing Pod deck.
Well, Rally of the Everwise is pretty good. Whenever it's one, a blue and a red. Rally the Everwise gets +1/+0 for each instant or sorcery card in your graveyard. The big effect is whenever you discard one or more cards for the first time each turn, draw that many cards.
That actually is really good.
In a Nephuzar deck, that would be like really good because you just try and wheel your hand as fast as possible. And then,
Another one of my favorite cards is the new Vivian Planeswalker.
Yes.
It looked really weak to me initially, but I was very wrong.
Vivian is going to go in my Golta deck, like hands down.
It's amazing.
Yeah. What does Vivian do? Mandy, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. There's a little bit of a delay between all of our parts, so we'll just have to pass back and forth.
No, there's just like 3 cards that I have pulled up that I liked out of this set.
Go for it.
I'll just say one for now. It's Fronland Felidar. Costs 2 and a green and a white. It's another cat beast. It has vigilance. I think it goes really well with that companion card that I mentioned earlier. It says creatures you control with vigilance have pay 1 and then tap a target creature.
That is an awesome card. That's almost like a little bit more expensive Maze of Ith, or what is it? Thematic Compass that does that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It's a 3/5 creature for 4, has vigilance, and if you have that companion card out, all of your other creatures then have vigilance.
You
can tap, a big creature that somebody has or something that you want to not be able to have block your stuff. So
that's going to go great with any kind of deck that has creature heavy board state.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a card here, the Ozolith or Ozolith.
Damn it, Roman!
What?
You stole my card.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
You can't prove that.
It was on my list.
I didn't see your list.
Still your fault.
Well, you might as well go over the card then.
Yes, go for it.
Well, since it's not a stolen card, whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, if it had counters on it, put those counters on the Ozolith. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if the Ozolith has counters on it, you may move all the counters from the Ozolith onto target creature. So that's a way to move the keyword counters or any other +1/+1 counters you may have out there. Will go really great in a deck I'm building for Marwo.
Did you guys happen to see, hey, no, you can't play your commander dot card?
Oh, which one is that?
Drenith Magistrate?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you see that commander you have? No. I'm kind of worried about that card.
That's the one that says
not for
something
commander.
It's up on the screen for anybody watching the video. Creature, human, wizard, 1/3. I'm sorry. Your opponents can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hands. Mandy, go ahead.
Yes. No, sorry. That's what I was trying to say.
Oh, okay.
I'm happy for it.
Isn't there a card that in this set that actually puts the commander in your hand?
In the commander cards, yes.
Okay, that's where
not in Ikoria.
Any other new and notable cards from you guys?
Yes.
And Mandy.
Song of Creation?
Yeah, that one's cool.
1 colorless, 1 green, 1 blue, and 1 red. It's an enchantment. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. Whenever you cast a spell, you draw 2 cards. At the beginning of your end step, discard your hand.
That's pretty sweet. I like that a lot.
There's this one command or companion card that I do like. Let's see here, Jangantha, the Wellspring.
I talked about that one.
You talked about it?
The elemental elk. He goes in any 5-color deck.
I'm looking for this other one that I really like that I saw earlier.
While you're looking for that, I'm going to talk about Nethroy, because I'm in love with this guy.
He's just broken as all hell.
Yep, very, very broken. I love him. But he's a nightmare cat beast thing with death touch and lifelink. Whenever this creature mutates, return any number of target creature cards with total power 10 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And he's an Abzan color, so that's like Combo City. It's just a cool card.
You guys are giving me a workout finding these
cards. Just
go
Nethroy, Apex of Death.
It's easier.
But that's the wrong card.
Oh, that's Mythos. That's right. Yeah, you're right. It is the wrong.
I also like General's Enforcer.
Mm-hmm.
It's an uncommon, costs a white and a black to put it out. Legendary humans you control have indestructible. You can pay 4 and exile target card from a graveyard. It was a creature card. Create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token.
What was the name of that card again?
I just think General's Enforcer. I just think it would be fun to make like a deck built with Tessa or Tessa, however you say it, as the commander.
Tessa or Tessa is a very hotly debated topic, depending on who you ask. It's like
and
tomato.
Make like a legendary humans deck.
Yeah, that would be pretty sweet. Maybe like Sisay as like a commander in that.
Yeah.
Like the 5-color deck I built, Sisay Weatherlight Captain. That'd be pretty cool.
Hey, how about that one card, Ruinous Ultimatum? Seems like
that one does look cool. I like that they're finishing the ultimatum cycle.
It's I'm not even gonna say it's mana. It's what is it? It's 2 red, 3 white, 2 black. Exactly. Destroy all non-land permanents your opponents control.
It's great.
Yeah.
I love that they brought the cycles back. Cruel Ultimatum was the first one.
That looks like it's gonna get you kicked out of your
Look at the Sultai one.
Why would that get me kicked out of the playgroup? That's not going in my Zergo deck at all.
Sure.
Well, then there's the Emergent Ultimatum, which is Sultai in the Ultimatum colors. That is just tooth and nail, just cheaper, and in Sultai. So.
Yeah,
I also like Zerta, the Dawnwaker. Costs 1 and a red or a white, and another red or a white, so 3 altogether. Legendary creature. It is a companion card. Each permanent card in your starting deck has an activated ability. Abilities you activate that aren't mana abilities cost 2 less to activate. This effect can't reduce the mana in that cost to less than 1. You can pay 1 and tap, and target creature can't block this turn. It's a 3/3. It's pretty nice for Boros.
I think Boros finally got a viable commander.
You don't think there was any other viable commanders? I mean, well, like, what about
The only other one was Feather.
Okay, fair enough.
But there's 2. Like, that's not fair to Boros.
There's Godzilla King of Monsters. I like that one.
Yeah, that's true.
John,
But
I'm not
Emergent
sure.
Ultimatum is
Searching
pretty
this would be fine. It's literally the movie title.
Yeah, I know what Godzilla Cancer is. Goodness.
It's just the whole set looks really cool.
Alright,
All the
so...
new crystals are pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Those are going to be really good for Commander in those colors.
Yeah.
Like, I'm definitely going to pick all of those up from my Sisei deck.
All right, last call for any fun cards that anybody wants to see.
I can't find the one, but it's a companion card that makes spell or activated abilities cost less.
That's, Mandy just talked about that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But I have one more, John.
Okay, what's that?
Proud Wildbonder. And it's 2 red, green. It's a creature human warrior with trample. And creatures you control with trample you may have this creature assign its combat damage as though it weren't blocked.
Ooh, that's was it Gaspark No, that's not Gaspark Twins. That's you can block 2 creatures.
This is just a really cool card. I really like it.
Yeah, there's that green card that I run in my Galta deck that's similar to this.
There's
Well, you
actually
can't
a
run
couple
this in
of them like
Galta.
that.
No, but this is like a cheaper cool version of that.
He's talking about the one from Dominaria, the 7/7.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my last pick.
I would say my last one would be Snapdax, Apex of the Hunt,
The
which
Margot
is a
one, right?
mutate card. It's costs 1 red, white, and black. Has double strike, and whenever this creature mutates, it deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls, and you gain 4 life.
Ooh, do not type in Snapdax plus hump in Google. Not at all. I pulled up the wrong card for Snapdax and Ikoria, so I tried to search for that quick.
Why was that one of your favorite sites?
That was not one of my favorites. Shut up. What, you said it was the Apex of the Hunt?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
It's a dinosaur cat nightmare.
Dino Care. That's going to go in my Dino deck one eventually. I'm going to do a Kenrith King of the Dinosaurs.
I like him because he is double strike, so you're hitting him twice, and then you can mutate it.
And the mutate
it'll
cost is
deal-
what, 5 altogether?
2, 3, 4, 5, yeah.
So that's not too shabby. Okay.
Yeah. He's kind of
But
cool.
I would definitely put that in I wouldn't put that as the commander, but I would put that in a Zergo deck. That would be fun, because then Zergo would have double strike.
Okay. One last call, even though I already...
No, I'm good.
I can't find Luminous Broodmother. Oh, it's right here. That's dumb. Luminous Broodmother, 2 and 2 white. Whenever a creature you control without flying dies, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a flying counter on it. This card's going to be broken repeatedly through Vizier of Remedies, where Vizier of Remedies would just take the counter off of the creatures, and you basically just have an infinite sack outlet. So stuff like Sun Titan just goes dumb, infinite, anything else.
Devoted Druid.
ETB and gain life. So you just have a sack outlet, Luminous Broodmother, and Vizier of Remedies out on the field, and now mono white is turning into like a Golgari deck.
And people said that mono or white was getting gypped.
Well, this card makes it really good because just what it is. This is going to go in just about any deck that has white, and wants stuff to ETB over and over or die.
Yeah.
This is
What's the card called again? Broodmother?
Luminous Brood
Broodmother?
Moth.
It's going to go in like a Soul Sisters deck.
Luminous Brood Moth, not Brood Mother.
Moth. Yeah, I love that card. And I've been honestly doing combos with it already. Like thinking up stuff I can do with it. It's so good.
And just for anybody who's a fan of the ultra corny Sharknado movies.
Oh yeah, that card was amazing.
There's like 3 different cards with sharks.
Shark
And
Palace.
the Sharknado.
Yeah, one of them definitely is a Sharknado.
It's called Sharknado,
Shark
I think.
Typhoon.
Well, might as well be Sharknado.
Yeah, but it's pretty much a Sharknado. There's just a bunch of sharks in a tornado.
And
There's a
shark.
pouncing shore shark and a flying shark. I'm pretty sure that somebody at Wizards is a Sharknado fan.
Yeah, moving on to the combat step, let's go ahead and declare everything. I'm pretty sure that the people, or the designers for Magic, or WotC, they came into this and they were like, oh shit, yeah, we can just do whatever we want with movie themes. I'm sure that's how Sharknado got in there. I mean, seriously, I'm surprised more, like, Leprechaun and other weird things didn't get in here.
Labyrinth Raptor? It's basically just like a predator. Or not predator, alien.
Yeah, it really is. So I'm sure, like, as we organize, or we go through these cards and we examine the artwork and stuff more, we're going to start finding a lot more common threads to other movies and everything. I'm willing to bet that we're going to find something like, what was that, Mothman or something to that effect? I can't remember the name.
Probably sure there's like a Mothman somewhere in this.
Or the Centipede. I can't think of any of these movie titles now, but things like that. So
but there's also like Pokemon type stuff in this too.
There is.
So like
there is that one Pokemon, yeah.
I'm talking about like the lore. Like I forget the exact thing now. I would have to look it up. There's basically like things in this set that act pretty much just like Pokemon. I am really bad at trying to explain this.
I didn't get a chance to look through all of the cards yet, so I don't know which one you're talking about. But yeah, that was very little arguing for any kind of combat stuff. Does anybody want to argue about anything?
Right now.
Roman, you're very surprised.
Well, people are saying this set is broken. I
don't think it is either. I think there's a nice balance to it.
Well, now I think it is broken.
Really? Now you think it's broken?
Yeah,
it's not broken at all.
No,
How is this broken? Really? That's it?
Bonders.
And combat.
Bonders.
Bonders?
Bonders are special few humans who can form magical connection with monsters, which are pretty much like the same thing as
Poketrainer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Yeah, there are a few different magic cards. Like, the mutate and stuff doesn't work with humans, but there is a little bit of a crossover where people can't, or their humans interact with the mutated creatures and things like that. So, I'm curious as how much more we're going to see of that. At any rate, moving on to our second main phase, that was a very tame combat step. I expected there to be a lot more arguing from Roman.
How can I argue when you...
Hush your mouth. Okay, so at any rate, how do you guys think that... we're a much more Commander-centric podcast here. But not only Commander, but in other things like Standard and Modern. How do you guys think that these core mechanics... and we're going to leave cycling out of this because cycling was already a older mechanic. But how do you think like the new counters, Companion, and Mutate are going to work for these other formats, like especially Commander? Do you see them having a big impact or not at all? And if so, why or why not?
You're talking about how the Commander cards are going to affect Commander?
Well, not how bringing in this Mutate mechanic into Commander.
Well, we already had it. It was just called Bestow. The only thing is they're adding stuff into it, like the over-under thing, and then that the card can actually deal commander damage as well.
Well, it does change enough of the nuances that it's not completely Bestow, and so it's not going to act the same as Bestow. But and at the same time, it's not going to act the same as like an enchantment or an aura spell or anything like that either, or an equipment or artifact. Like when you put the mutated creature onto something else, especially when you're playing with cards throughout all the history of Magic, you're gonna...
Well, yeah, things are gonna get done. Like I said, Blightsteel Colossus is gonna hit for commander damage. Stuff like Impervious Great Worm is gonna hit for commander damage. Things that are like 2020s that aren't supposed to be commanders, like people are gonna have like the Eldrazi of the turn basically trying to hit for commander damage.
Yeah, the whole build your own creature kind of mechanic is going to be something. Yeah. I think we're going to start over the next year. We're going to start seeing a lot of weird and broken things with this. What do you two think?
I think that unless we build proxies for some of these new cards now and stick them in decks and see how they work, I really don't know if we're going to be able to tell how things are going to play out until the set's actually out and, the dust settles after a month or so of people playing with these cards and coming up with combinations. And I think it's just still too early really to tell. We haven't seen the full set release yet, so I'm curious to see what's going to happen with the rest of the cards, the synergies, people's ideas, whatnot. I think it's kind of too early to really say how it's going to affect. As far as mutate goes, I don't think there's enough cards in this set so far with the mutate ability to really have that profound of an effect on standard in particular.
Standard, I see like the mutate, especially with the new counters, it's going to bring like a more Voltron-y kind of thing to Commander, or to Standard, and maybe to some extent Modern and Pioneer. But you're right, like it's going to be something like Feather was a few metas ago for Standard, where people hone in on those couple of specific cards, and then they build around those, and it's going to become a specific type of deck in Standard, I think. How it plays out in Modern and Commander, I think, is going to be a little bit more difficult to tell because there's a wider berth of cards to be able to access. So people are going to figure out ways to break these cards or cause interactions with them that we're just not even predicting and seeing yet. So I'm kind of curious to see how that goes with it. Nick, what do you think?
I'm going to be making a birthing pod deck.
There is this fly down here that I'm about ready to kill.
Well,
the fiendish thing.
We only have about 12 more spoilers to go.
Yeah, we're almost done with spoiler season here.
Yeah, so most of the cards are, because it's not going to put out the reprints on the spoilers page, the MTG, where it's www.mythicspoiler.com.
Yeah,
is what I use.
Let's do a quick thing of these counters, and then we got to start wrapping this up because we're 47 minutes into the show.
All right.
So, do you guys see these new counters?
I'm going to abuse the hell out of these counters.
So am I. I mean, there are going to be specific cards that do counters that are going to go into decks for other specific cards. Like you mentioned, Impervious Great Worm, that immediately is going to get Trample and Flying one way or another.
Yeah. I'm going to give Krenko Flying.
We do not need Flying Goblins.
Nah, I'm going to give him Hexproof, Flying, Death Touch, everything.
Oh.
Krenko the shit out of everyone.
What do you guys think of this? Well, are you excited about these counters? Do you think they're going to break things in some way?
They're breakable, but I don't know how yet.
There are several untapped cards that I'm not able to use because Krenko doesn't have flying. I'm going to give him a flying counter. Okay. And I'm going to literally play cards that say untap target creature flying every turn.
Cool. Mandy, what do you think? Final thoughts, quick.
Why is this card on the field? Why did you pull this one off?
Because I didn't do a random card or an actual card pick that we're going to get to in a moment, so I'm going to choose this.
Card is terrible and needs to be banned from Commander.
Okay, everybody will see that card in a moment here. Mandy, do you have any final thoughts on the counters?
I think with certain decks it will work. I'm not so sure about all others. With Erebos, it might be kind of fun to be able to use Eminence with Erebos and then pay the ability of Erebos, turn something into like a gigantic creature with flying that can't be blocked. Might be kind of fun. Hit somebody for like 36 damage in the air.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to see your cat deck get any more of these things like this. Alright, so we're coming up on the 50-minute mark, so why don't we go ahead and wind down. Let's move on to the end step. We're going to go ahead and do our card picks of the week, our quick plugs, and then we'll be out of here for the night. Who would like to go first?
Prime Speaker Vanavar. That's my...
What does Prime Speaker Vanavar do?
I don't know what Prime...
She's another birthing pod.
People might be listening to this and don't know it. It's really another birthing pod?
You tap her to sacrifice another creature, search your library for a creature card with CMC equal to 1 plus the sacrifice creature's converted mana cost and put it on the battlefield.
Okay.
It came out with Ravnica, right?
Or birthing pod. Yeah.
Yeah, so you should know that.
I'm on a birthing pod kick tonight. So.
I am aware of it, but people listening to the podcast might not know this, Roman. My goodness.
Birthing pod.
Okay.
You didn't know that.
My card pick of the week is another random card because I didn't.
Terrible card.
El Schnorn Grand Cenobite. It's a legendary creature praetor. It's a 4/7 with vigilance. Other creatures you control get 2/2. Creatures your opponents control get -2/2. And that was the comments coming from Roman a minute ago. Roman?
Yeah,
Roman hates
that murders
because of
Tranko.
Okay.
Yeah, Roman was
one
just
from Mystery Booster.
complaining about that horribly. Roman, do you want to go next?
Sure. I have a mortality shift. Exchange your graveyard and library, then shuffle your library. It's will probably go great with the new Thassa fanatics out there.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Mandy, did you by chance have another card?
Sure. Cheville, Bane of Monsters. It's a new one out of Ikoria. I'm only picking it because it reminds me of that asshole Joe Exotic that I suffered through.
Yeah, there's been some memes going around on Reddit with that card already, with Joe Exotic and face printed on it. So, all right,
Yeah.
let's move on to our shameless plugs quick. Don't forget to visit cycleanddredge.com where you can listen to all of our past episodes. Also visit Lang's Library. It is currently up on the screen right now. And this is where we typically pick our random cards of the week, as well as, well, what I personally use, of course, to manage my library, build my decks, things like that. We're adding new features all the time, so go ahead and take a look at it. Nick, do you have any plugs or anything? Do you have anything going on with Rebel Calls or anything like that?
We got our own shelter.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Where at?
Yeah. I actually don't know because I'm in New Holland.
Okay.
So I have no idea.
Gotcha. Is there, if anybody wants to help Rebel Calls in the Lancaster area, is there
Go to the
anything they can do?
Facebook.
That's the best way to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have any other shout-outs or anything?
I do.
High
Go
five.
visit our sponsors at EDH.
No, we're not associated with EDH Rec.
But if you guys ever want to play with us, that'd be cool.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, if you want to play with us, visit us on Discord. We'll set it up. We do have a setup that we can use.
Yeah, we actually, what we're doing tonight, if anybody's watching this or watching on the YouTube video after the fact, is we've got a new recording set up and everything here. We're kind of running a test recording with this episode tonight and kind of seeing where the kinks lie, things like that. We got a little bit of a learning curve to go with here yet, but part of it is going to be us being able to record us playing games. I mean, all sorts of games too, not just Magic, but board games and other things as well too. So, and this will
Monopoly.
give us Monopoly. We're gonna Twitch straight. That's something we can do because Nick, you don't need to be here for with us being sequestered.
Yeah, I don't want to play Monopoly with you guys.
But come on, you can watch the video and then we can roll for you
and share the video.
Yeah, and
like
then,
John had so much fun last time we played Monopoly.
Oh, I hate you, Roman.
No, he had the worst time ever.
Yeah, I hate everything. Yeah. Oh wait.
You don't hate me, do you?
No, not at all. I just hate Roman.
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah, Rebel Calls Lancaster. It's up on the screen now. So here we go.
There's Nick.
Oh, you got it? Nice.
There is Nick.
There's a Nick.
It's up on the screen.
Oh.
So.
Have you still not liked the page? What a jerk.
What? I have liked the page.
No, it says like the page. Nick invited you.
Oh my god.
I thought I liked
The
the page.
day shelter
Yeah, we got a day shelter.
is at Crossroads Church in
Yeah.
Lancaster.
That's
Okay.
what it's called. I forgot.
So Rebel Calls
You
was
guys-
recently doing the
I know where that is.
shared meals and everything like that during the quarantine period. Is that where they're doing that at?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
The last week we had talked about Rebel Calls putting out the meals and everything during the quarantine period for people.
Yeah, they're doing it there in Skins.
Okay. So yeah, if anybody is in the Lancaster area and needs help with anything,
Reach out to Rebel Cause. Kane will help you.
And
I
likewise,
do yoga.
And likewise, what?
Yoga. They're looking for a yoga instructor.
Oh my goodness, you don't know.
I know yoga.
And then if
Yoga
anybody would like
fired.
to help Rebel Cause, visit their Facebook
That joke
page.
was bad.
It was horrible.
And you'll probably
Okay.
talk to me, honestly.
Yeah. So, yeah,
I run the Facebook.
Nick is the person that runs the social media for Rebel Calls, so good. That's good though. As always, it wouldn't be a Cycle and Dredge podcast if we didn't shout out our favorite game store in the Lancaster area called Farbro Co. You want to go ahead and give it?
Yeah, sure. They're located right behind Central Market at 9 West Grant Street. You can visit them between the hours of 9 a.m. and 6 p.m.
Well, back when they're open. Right now,
they're open.
So, but yeah, I look for them in the future, and if you're ever in the Lancaster area. So what's on tap for next week? Does anybody have any?
We got to go up.
Commander.
Oh, we're still on the end step.
Yeah, we're moving up to the cleanup now.
Commander.
We're talking about Commander
next week.
The new Commander sets were showed.
Okay.
So we're talking about that.
So next week we were hoping to get to that tonight, but we actually went longer than I did.
It's minute 50.
Yeah, 55 on Facebook Live.
Minute 55.
Yeah, so we got to jump off here in the next 4 minutes, so we're going to get cut off.
I would want to go to a cleanup step. I want to talk about the coronavirus real quick.
Is it something serious?
Yes, it actually is. So guys, if you're going to go outside, right, if you absolutely have to go outside, wear a mask, wear gloves. Remember, you're more likely to touch something than you are to breathe in on something. So wear gloves. That way, when you touch something, the virus that remains on the surface from everyone else getting it isn't going to get on you.
Yeah, if you don't have gloves with you, use the bottom of your shirt.
Use the bottom of your shirt. Don't use your sleeve because you touch your
like
sleeve with your hand. You go, you touch that stuff.
For the people that aren't watching.
And don't litter. If you're wearing gloves and you take them off, throw them in a trash can. Apparently, it's been a problem for people, them like finding gloves along the street.
Yeah,
in
if you're
gardens and shopping carts.
Not only besides the littering thing, if you're forcing other people to pick up your dirty ass gloves, you're just putting them at risk. So don't be an asshole.
But basically, wear gloves because let's stop this virus so we can all get back to our LGSs and play games.
Yeah, that would be nice. I miss Farboco.
Otherwise, this virus is just going to keep spreading. People are going to catch it multiple times, and basically we'll never be allowed outside our houses again.
Yeah. All right, final thoughts. Last call.
Oh, and this space right here, this is too close to anyone.
Yes.
So unless you know that person, you live with that person, and you know where they've been.
Yeah, it just so happens that Roman, Mandy, and I live in the same place, so we're all introduced.
This space used to be my bedroom.
Yeah. We locked him in the basement. Nick, unfortunately, is not here with us because he doesn't live with us, so we're practicing safe social distancing, and Nick is stuck far, far away, otherwise Nick would be with us here too. So, yeah. Basically, if you're worried about someone being far enough with you or away from you while you're out, take a broomstick with you. If they are getting close enough to the broomstick,
no, don't take a broomstick. You're going to get arrested for terroristic threats. Please take a tape measure. The tape measure can't hurt anyone.
Or 2 yardsticks taped together.
Are we hitting our time period?
Yeah, we got like a minute and a half left, and that's it. We're cutting it pretty close.
Okay. Argue about this later.
Yeah, we will. All right, so next week we're going to talk about the Commander... God damn it, Roman. We're going to talk about the Commander decks and everything. Hopefully I'll have a better chance now that this project down here is done and everything to look through these, so I'll be better prepared. I want to thank you all for picking up my slack tonight. And then
Slack has been picked up.
I guess that's it for tonight. So,
waving goodbye.
Nick, eventually you're going to be able to wave in person. I look forward to that. You're going to be on camera, you're going to be able to wave in person. At any rate, Nick is waving goodbye. Roman, you can actually wave. Would you like to wave? Roman is waving goodbye.
I gotta do the Pope
do you have any final words? We've been kind of overshadowing you here.
Is it like that?
Quick, 50-second.
Bye.
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 Until next week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Now what?